I was faking it.
Good lip reading skills.
Yeah,
Right
that's
there.
right.
Jackass.
Not like the bad lip reading.
Yeah.
Man,
Nothing like the bad lip reading.
so I just started watching The Big Short.
Yeah.
I'm like 40 minutes in. It is fucking awesome.
So good, right?
Yeah. All right. So, are we recording?
Yes.
All right. Cool. Because we're live on the YouTubes.
Hi, YouTube.
Fuck. If we do this, we don't have anything funny to say before the opening. Oh well.
What?
All right. What is up, everybody? Welcome to Rabble of Thrones. This week we're gonna talk about Valar Dohaeris. They didn't actually say it, so I don't know.
They didn't actually say this. So
Yeah, so I think Dohaeris. That's how we're gonna call it.
do we know what it means?
It means all men must serve.
All men must serve.
Right, because the Valar Morghulis means all men must die.
Right.
So this is the season premiere for season 3, which makes sense because we just watched the season finale of season 2.
What?
I know. All right, well, with me in the main Rabble HQ, we've got Tyler Hoskin.
Hello.
And I'm Chris Taylor in Rabble Studio B, broadcasting live to youtube.com/RabblePress.
Oh, snap.
Check it out if you haven't. So this episode is a little bit of a departure for Game of Thrones because normally you see the HBO logo, you know, the snowy screen, wah, and then dun, 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 dun. Not this fucking time.
Nope.
No, we hear like screeching and like people being stabbed and like, oh my god, what's going on? And boom, we see Sam's face with his frozen beard.
Yep.
And he's running.
And he's booking it.
And it's like, you gotta get out of there, bro.
He's never run so fast in his life.
Yeah, and then so he's running. It's running a long time. Like it's like there's like 3 or 4 cuts of him running. I'm like, you probably could have done this in like 2 cuts. I got the same point across. But so he sees a figure like kneeling in the snow, cloaked figure, and he's like, "Oh, brother." He assumes it's a Night's Watch dude, which it is. And he comes around the front, and it's the dude kneeling down with his own head in his lap, holding it. And I'm like,
that was fucking creepy.
That's awesome.
So creepy. So good, though.
So he turns around and here comes the zombie, and I'm sure Tay was just losing her mind in this scene.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Because the zombie's coming, and then
He ain't stopping.
Ghost shows up and saves the day, starts pulling him off Sam, and then he gets hit with like a flaming arrow and burns him alive. Well, I guess he's dead, right?
Burns dead?
Burns him undead.
Burns him undead. We'll have to clarify.
Yes, I like burns him undead.
Burns him undead.
Yeah. So then all his bros are there, all his Night's Watch bros, and Mormont's like, he's like, Sam, did you send the ravens? And Sam's like, no, I didn't send the ravens. And he's like, you had one job, one job. Send the fucking ravens.
And one fucking job.
And you can't even fucking do it. This is why I hated Sam the first couple times watching this series. Because it's just like, why can't you just do the one thing?
Dude, come on.
It's like Johnny Manziel. Don't do the thing. Sam, do the thing. He doesn't do the thing.
Yeah. Just do the thing.
Just do the thing.
It's your one job.
One thing. Come on now. So then we get dun, 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 and we get the, you know, and Winterfell's on fire, and it's like, yeah, Winterfell's on fire.
Like shit.
Yeah. So, oh, sorry. He said the Mormont before we go to the opening credits. He says we have to warn them, or everyone you ever known will be dead.
Yep.
And so it makes it seem like this White Walker thing is happening now.
Right now, yeah.
Right now. Like, if we don't do something, it's over for everybody.
Game over, man.
Spoiler. We're through season 5, and the White Walker thing still hasn't happened.
No. Well,
Although everyone I know is like, "Oh, this is the season," and it's like, you know what? I'm gonna believe it when I see it, because
yeah.
I'm not buying it. So we get back with Jon Snow and Ygritte, and they're coming into the wildling camp, and people are not.
It seemed like an awfully long walk.
Right. Yeah, because yeah. And I mean, their camp didn't look all that great. You know, like, I'm sure being a man of the Night's Watch has its problems.
Right.
But do you want to live in a tent on snow? Like, this is the side you're choosing to join?
Yeah.
I mean, we know he's not really joining, but he's joining up for now.
Yeah, he's gonna hang out with the wildlings for a while.
Yeah, so they're making their camp, and he sees a giant, and so I'm like, okay, so giants are a thing.
Yeah.
And then Ygritte's like, "Hey, don't stare at him. They're kind of shy, but
when they stop being shy,
yeah,
get angry.
Then they get angry, and he'll."
And I've seen a guy, and as the giant is
pounding a stick into the ground.
It's not just a stick.
Well,
it's a
log.
tree,
It's a log,
right? Like
yeah.
he's pounding this into the ground, and she says, "I've seen a giant pound a man into the ground."
Yep.
That's horrific.
That's awful, but cool.
Very cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
You want the giants on your side.
That's right. That's right. So, as they're going through the camp, people are like yelling, "Crow, you're fucking ugly," and they're throwing rocks at him.
And snowballs.
And snowballs with poop in them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
snow poop.
Right. So he gets to where Mance is, and they're like, "All right, we're gonna bring him inside." And so he comes inside and sitting at the table. You know, dude eating, asking him a couple questions, and what did he say? He said something about
why do you want to join us?
Right. And he's like, "Oh, what? Because I put crows killed him. Oh, I had a lot of friends, whatever." Anyways, so he assumes this guy that he's talking to is Mance.
Yes.
But it's not Mance.
No.
Because he takes the knee and he's like. And he calls him Your Grace, and they start laughing, and Mance comes around, and he's like, "You know, you don't need to kneel to anybody here." And of course, it's Tormund Giantsbane that he meets, and I'm like, yes, love Tormund.
He's a good guy.
He's so good. And then so Ygritte leaves, and Mance is like, "You know, I think she likes you." He's like, I think you like her too. Is that why you're flipping sides? And he's like, No, I just wanna join because I want to be free. And he's like, "No, I don't believe you." And then he calls him a traitor, right? He calls Jon a traitor. Mance does, and Jon says, "Well, if I'm a traitor,
so are you.
Clearly, you're a traitor as well."
Yeah.
So, I know what they were talking about, because they were saying about how he killed Corin Halfhand, and he was saying that killed a lot of his friends, and anyways, so he says, you know, like, why do you want to join? He says, "I want to be free," and he's like, "You're lying. Why do you really want to join?" And you know, he tells him the story about what he saw at Craster's Keep.
Yep.
And how he saw... And then when he told Mormont, he already knew. And he's like, "I want to fight for the side who's fighting for the people who are free. Like, right. I don't want to fight for them anymore. I want to be free and fight for free people.
Fight for the side who fights for the living."
Right. So... apparently that answer was good enough for Mance, and says, "We got to get you a different cloak. obviously can't be wearing
black.
can't be wearing black around here. They don't like that. So
and, that's all we see.
That's right. That's right.
Beyond the wall.
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
That's it. That's all for the episode.
Okay, so then we go to Bronn. Yeah. Oh, we got two boobies. That's it.
That is it for the episode.
But that's okay.
That's fine. We see them an awful lot in this scene.
Yeah. So, he's about to have some fun, and Podrick shows up to ruin the day. He's like, you should leave, and Podrick's like, Tyrion says it's like super important, and so
going to murder you.
Yeah. So, Bronn, I assume Bronn leaves pretty hastily. So we go to Tyrion, who's like in his new chambers, and Cersei knocks on the door. So she's got her gold cloaks with her. One of them, of course, is Meryn.
Yes.
And so he's like, what do you want? Like, you're not coming in. And she's like, if I wanted to have you killed, like, do you think this door would stop me? And he's like, okay, you make a good point. And he's like, all right, but you can come in, but they have to stay out. And she's like, I'm not afraid of you, so they'll be fine outside.
Yeah, that's fine.
So she comes in, and she makes her joke about him not needing a lot of room, and he says Pycelle made the same joke. And so I guess it got to her that he's meeting with Tywin, and she wants to know what he wants. And I think really what she's afraid of is that he's going to tell Tywin about Joffrey and Tommen and Myrcella not being incestuous bastard children.
Yes.
And that's what she's afraid of?
I think so. I think that makes the most sense.
Yeah.
Like, it would, who cares if, like, he's not going to tell his dad that he tried to have him killed.
Right, because he won't even care. Like, he knows that he wouldn't care about that.
Yeah, and he would want him dead too. Like,
right.
Especially because of the scene we go to later on with.
Oh my god, such a good scene.
Such a good scene. But yeah, I would agree with you that she's worried that he will tell father about.
And so she says, "I'm worried that you're gonna slander me," and he's like, "Well, it's not slander if it's not true, or if it's true."
It's true, yeah.
So. So then Bronn shows up.
Yeah.
And Meryn and the other gold cloak are standing at the door, and Bronn's like, I gotta get in there. And Meryn's like,
Don't touch that door.
You touch that door and you're gonna lose your hand. And Bronn's like, Bronn doesn't like that.
No.
Bronn doesn't. Well, Bronn says he's better suited beating on girls than actually fighting men, which I love. Oh my god. So Bronn goes to take a step, and he's got his hand on his knife, like he's ready to go. And Cersei opens the door and walks out, and that squashes the whole fight.
Which is a total shame.
Right.
Because that would have been fucking awesome.
Right. So then Tyrion comes out, and him and Bronn and Podrick go on a little walk through the courtyard, and they're talking about their friendship, and like, aren't we good friends? And Bronn's like, yeah, we're great friends. You just, I'm a sellsword, so I literally sell my sword. I don't loan it out to friends. Yeah. And so Tyrion's like, well, what do you want? Oh, because he says I'm a knight now, so that means my pay's gone up. And he's like, oh, how much? Well, double. And Tyrion's like, I don't even know what I pay you now. And he's like, well, that means you can afford it. It's like the best. I fucking love Bronn so much. Oh man, I love him so much. So Tyrion's got to pay double now.
Yeah. And like Tyrion gives a shit right
Yeah.
now.
So then the next scene opens and we see like, up in the sky a hand like this, like just no fingers. Right? That's right. So it's our boy Davos. Like, oh, the sun's so bright, and he wakes up, and Davos is alive, and we had no idea.
I thought he was dead.
I thought he was dead too.
I was like, yep, dead. Kaput.
So he wakes up, and he's on this like rock in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah.
Which is like a terrible place to end up.
Oh, just awful.
And so he looks out into the ocean and sees a boat, and so he's like waving and takes his shirt off and waving, and they give a blast.
Yeah, a couple horn blasts to
say, yeah, we see you, we're coming to get you. So the little rowboat shows up, and the guy's like, hey, what happened to you? And he's like, well, I was at the Battle of Blackwater. And they're like, oh.
What king did you serve?
Yeah, what king do you serve? He's like, the one true king, Stannis Baratheon.
Well,
so
he says the one true king of Westeros.
Right. Pauses.
And pauses. And then he goes, Stannis Baratheon.
Right. And they throw him the rope because because it's his pirate buddy. It's his boat, right? So
yeah.
Which is an amazing coincidence.
Truly amazing coincidence.
So he asks about so now they are talking, and he asks about his son, and he's like, nah, wildfire took him. I saw it with my own eyes. Okay, so they talk about, because Davos obviously wants to go back to Stannis, because that was the first thing. He's like, where's Stannis? And he's like, he's fine back at the Dragonstone, and he's like, yeah, the fucking red ladies, she's just burning dudes, just setting them on fire, all the infidels.
Yeah.
So he's like, okay, you got to take me back, and that guy's like, I don't know, man.
That noise, man.
Yeah. How did he convince him? I can't remember how he convinced him.
I don't remember either.
Yeah,
it convinces him.
This scene was kind of like just like meh. I didn't take a lot of notes. I was just like meh. I'm sure I'll remember. I have no idea.
Well, even the wiki just says Davos convinces Salor.
So he just convinces him.
So
yeah, so he convinces him, and that's it. So.
And off they go.
Right. On another whirlwind adventure. So the Starks arrive at Harrenhal. And everybody's fucking slaughtered.
Yeah.
The Mountain just, on his way out, just killed everybody.
Yeah. We're done here.
Mm-hmm. So, the one scene that I really liked in this whole part is, so Karstark and Roose Bolton are talking.
Yeah.
And Karstark's like, man, like fucking Jaime Lannister's escaped, and like we're never gonna catch him. And Roose is like, I got my best hunter on him, and I'm like, yeah, you do. Fucking love that guy. I can't even remember his name. I fucking love that guy. So they're like surveying the dead people, and Rob's like, you gotta find a cell for my mom, and his chickie's like, she is your mom, and he's like, well, I don't care. So then, as they're going through the dead people, a guy like gasps, so he's not actually dead. And did you recognize who it was?
I did not. No.
See, and I was like, oh my god, it's Qyburn.
Oh.
Yeah, right?
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm like, holy shit, it's Qyburn. And then they ask him his name, and he says it, and I'm like, yes.
Huh.
So I didn't even, never once put 2 and 2. Never once.
Never. I didn't know that. Yeah, wow.
And because I don't think he shows up again until it would be the end of this season, right? Because he's the one, spoiler, guys, whatever. He's the one who fixes Jaime's hand or arm after
Yeah.
Right? So, and then he goes with them to King's Landing with Jamie and so, but we don't see. I don't think we see him again until the end of the season, till like the second to last episode.
Yeah, I don't think so.
But yeah, it was just like, this is amazing. So, yeah. So then we go to Tywin and Tyrion's like meeting, and like Tyrion's sitting there and Tywin's just like writing stuff, and you can actually see the picture right up there. Is Tywin writing stuff? He was really busy.
Yeah,
he doesn't have time for your shit, Tyrion.
I ain't got time for this shit.
Like, I got places to be. I got hand of the king duties to do. You know, I'm not just a whoring, drunkard, fucking ill-made. I'm not even gonna. I want to say it when we get to it. So, you know, Tyrion says like, "Hey, you know, like, I want what's rightfully mine. You know, Jaime's Kingsguard. You know, he can't take any lands or hold any titles or anything like that. I want Casterly Rock. I want you to name me heir to Casterly Rock." And Tywin's like, "No." He's like, "I'll give you a place that's, you know, suitable to you. I'll give you a job that's suitable to you. But what does he say? I would rather have maggots feast on me than have you embarrass the family name."
By turning...
Yeah.
What's it?
Yeah, Casterly Rock into your personal whorehouse. And then he says, he says, "You who killed your mother coming into this world, you are an ill-made, spiteful creature full of envy, lust, and low cunning. From your father."
Oh,
imagine your dad saying shit like that to you, man.
Be harsh.
And
man.
low cunning is like so like not even true.
Yeah.
And you know, I don't know. This scene really changed my opinion of Tywin. Because going into this scene, I always thought Tywin was like, yes, he's the bad guy, but
right.
he was never the bad guy. He was always like, you know, this is my family, and I'm gonna do what I have to do to protect our legacy, to protect my family. So he never had a problem with him. Everything he did was fair. He never did anything unfair. He never did anything cruel.
No.
He was just the dude. This scene totally changed that, because it's like look at the facts. Look at what Tyrion did for the city.
Yep.
And that's just gone because he's a dwarf and he's an embarrassment. And I mean, yeah, he's got a bad record with the whores and stuff, but I don't know. Like, I mean, cut the guy a break.
Yeah.
And it's just because we love Tyrion so much.
It's true.
So he kicks him out. He's like, get out of here before, you know. And then he gives him a little dig at the end, but I can't even remember what it was.
If you fuck another whore, I will hang her.
That's right. That is exactly what it was on the way out. And Tyrion's face, like, on the way out of the room, I could just read it. It's just like, man, that was not how I saw that conversation going. You know, like, that was not what I had planned. So then we go to our favorite duo of characters.
Yeah.
Shae and Sansa.
Yeah.
So, they're looking at ships and like making up stories on where they're going and what's in them, and you know, Sansa has this long story, and then she's like, "Okay, Shae, like, what about that one?" And Shae's like, "Oh, it's going to Valentis." And she's like, "Why?" And she's like, "'Cause I got on a boat in Valentis, and it looked like that one." She's like, "You're stupid. That's not how you play the game." Fuck off. God. Their scenes make me angry.
Yeah.
So so then Baelish shows up and, you know, says, "Hey, I want to talk to Sansa." So Shae backs off down the pier,
Hangs out with Roz.
hangs out with Roz. So Baelish says, I saw your mother recently. She wants to see you. She wants to see Arya. I'm gonna take you away, but I need, I'll be leaving here and there, so you'll need to be able to leave at a moment's notice.
Yeah.
And she's like, okay, I'll be ready. So, so then it goes to Shay and Roz, and Roz is like, what did she say about Shay? Or about Sansa? She says like, I grew up, or I used to live, near where she's from, and
they were just reminiscing about when Sansa was born, basically.
Right, and then like we've come a long way, girls like us, and then she's like, watch out for her. Speaking to Shay about Sansa, and Shay's like, I always do, and then Raz like specifies, and she's like, no, watch out for her with him. So like,
Yeah, and I always forget that Roz left Winterfell.
Right. Yeah, that she was, because she was with Theon.
Yeah.
And she flashed him on the way out.
Yeah, that reminded me.
Right.
Like,
yeah. So what all right, let's talk about Shay for a minute. And again, spoilers. We're gonna spoil a lot right now. So Shay, at this point, seems to care about Sansa.
Right.
Like, genuinely care about Sansa.
Yeah, absolutely.
She seems to genuinely care about Tyrion.
Yep.
At the end of the last season, she suggests that they skip town.
Yeah, let's get the fuck out.
How is she so stupid that when he tells her, you need to go because I don't love you, blah, 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 how is she so stupid that she doesn't see what's actually happening? This character is so inconsistently written.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't make sense that it doesn't make sense that she wouldn't understand what was going on.
Right.
And it doesn't make sense that it makes zero sense that she's fucking him the whole time. Because I remember I thought maybe she was like, just, like, fuck him the whole time.
But she's not.
But there's no way she is.
And maybe she is just that. Maybe the character is just that stupid.
But how?
I don't know.
That's what infuriates me about the characters, because it doesn't make sense for her to be.
Oh yeah.
For her to not get it. For her to get the stuff that she gets, and then to not get that.
Yeah.
Then to be like sleeping with Tywin, like that's not smart.
No.
Right? Like, Tyrion's not gonna like that if he finds out. And then he's gonna strangle you to death and then shoot his dad with a crossbow.
Oh, boom.
And it's all your fault.
Yeah, and the fact that Tywin says, I will hang.
Right. I will hang her.
Or.
Oh, I didn't even.
Shay dies.
Yeah, I didn't even put two and two. Although Tywin didn't hang her.
No, but.
Yeah.
Basically, she did hang.
Yeah, good foreshadowing. I like it. So where were we? Okay.
Sansa scene is over.
Right. So now we get to the boat with Khaleesi and her dragons, and they're getting big, and
I'm on a boat.
Yeah, she says they're not big enough.
Fast enough.
Yeah,
they're not getting fast enough.
They need to get bigger faster. So, they are headed to Astapor.
Yeah.
To buy.
Grabbing a fish from the sea, flipping it up in the air, roasting it, and then swallowing it. That's
right?
pretty fucking badass.
Pretty good. It's pretty good.
Badass.
It needs cooked food.
Yeah.
Those dragons don't want to eat anything raw. So, I mean, how well would it cook in that quick, blast?
Well, depending on how hot the fire is.
No, you know what? It doesn't. No. Because you need it to, get all the way through.
I guess.
I don't know. To me, it would just be charred. Charred on the outside, soggy
Maybe
on
they
the
like
inside.
them. Maybe the dragons like things blue and
Maybe.
a little
Maybe.
rare.
Maybe.
Just a little heat.
Remember when the dragon burned the little girl?
Oh,
Not cool. All
not
right.
cool, man.
So they're going to Astapor to buy an Unsullied army. And they hear that the Unsullied are the greatest.
The finest soldiers in the world.
That's right. So, they look down at the boat, and all the Dothraki dudes are like puking because they're not, and they say like they're the first ones
Dothraki on the sea
to ever, yeah. So then we go back to Dragonstone, and Davos is arriving, and he kind of walks in the room, and he's like, "Hey, Stannis, what's up?" Stannis is like, he looks over and he gives him like a look, and he's like, "Ah, heard you were dead." It's like, not yet. And
yes, alive still.
so Melisandre's there, and he's like, he says to Stannis, he's like, "Man, I thought we could talk alone," and he's like, "We are alone." And he's like, "Well, not really what I meant, but okay." And so he's talking about like, "I heard you're burning dudes alive now," and she's like, "Well, what would you have us do with all the infidels?" And so she's like, "I could have saved all those dudes' lives if you told him not to take me, and he didn't take me, and look what happened. We lost the battle. If I was there, he'd be sitting on the throne. You'd be right beside him. We'd be drinking wine, having a good old laugh."
Yep.
And Davos didn't really.
He didn't like that very much.
No, and then she's like, "Well, I'll tell you, what I told your son, and that's that death by fire is the purest form of death." And then Davos just fucking loses it, tries to get her.
Shit.
Yeah, the guards grab him, and Stannis is like,
To the dungeon.
"Take him to the dungeons." So now we go to Flea Bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And Marjorie and Joffrey are getting carried through the streets. My issue is wherever they were. Is everything good?
Yeah, that was strange.
That was awesome. I'm gonna leave that in.
Okay.
Wherever they needed to go, or wherever they were coming from, I guess it sounded like they were coming from like the church.
Yeah.
Isn't there a different way to go?
Probably.
Okay, because, like, to me, I don't know, like, being in that tiny little box, getting carried by dudes through the streets, doesn't seem that kingly.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so they...
Weird.
So, Marjorie wants to stop and help all the poor kids. So she goes inside, and there's all the orphan kids, and she's talking to the one kid and says, "Oh, was your dad a soldier?" "Yeah, okay. Well, he kept the city safe," and blah blah blah, and hands him a little knight figure and says, "Here, when you look at this knight, think of your dad." And then they just start handing out all the toys to the kids, and I'm like, "Yeah, this is good. That's how you help the poor kids. Just give them toys. They don't need food or anything." Although as she's leaving, she says to the lady who taking care of them, like, "If you need anything, you come to me. Come directly to me." And this is what I like about Marjorie, is she really is like philanthropical.
Yeah, I know what you're trying to say.
Right. She's one of those.
Tropic?
Philanthropic? Is that it?
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe.
She wants to help the poor dudes.
Yeah.
And she genuinely wants to help. So after that is the dinner with Loras and Marjorie and
Yeah, okay.
Joffrey.
So when you asked me if there's a better way.
Yes.
So I just pulled up map of King's Landing.
King's Landing. Perfect.
Okay?
Yeah.
So picture it's King's Landing is like
let me see if I can find one. Did you just Google map of King's Landing?
Yeah, and I went to the Westeros.org wiki page.
Okay.
Anyway, so we've got a square map.
Mm-hmm.
We've got the gate, the wall around King's Landing.
Right.
And in the bottom right-hand corner, we've got the Red Keep.
Right.
Right, which is where they stay.
That's right.
Right? That's where they live. That's where the major castle is.
Right.
Right on the Blackwater Bay.
Right.
Right. Now, above that, in the top right-hand corner, is Flea Bottom.
Right.
On the other side of the map is the Great Sept of Baelor, which is where they were.
Right.
Now, there is a road that leads straight from the Red Keep to the middle of this map.
Right. So they don't have to go through Flea Bottom.
No.
But for some reason, they decide to go through Flea Bottom.
So you leave the Great Sept, you go probably, I don't know, half an hour, and you hang a right.
Yeah.
If you straight, you go to Flea Bottom.
Right.
And then you have to do a roundabout way.
Yeah,
so
that doesn't make any sense.
that makes no sense.
Yeah, that makes no sense. Well, there you go. There you have it. You heard it here first, folks. It makes no sense.
That's like the stupidest way to go.
So, the dinner scene was more just like quips back and forth.
Yes.
The one thing I know we said we were going to keep an eye on is Cersei is indeed drinking in this scene. Because I think we'd concluded that she was becoming an alcoholic after the scene before, or like the siege. Like she was just, that's it. That's where she starts like not caring and just drinking all the time. So she wasn't drinking in the scene with Tyrion, but she was definitely getting hammered in this scene.
Hammed.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean it was just, the scene was like, again, it was just like quips back and forth and nothing really happened. You just get the sense she doesn't like Marjorie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so the next scene's fantastic. So it's when Daenerys and Jorah are meeting with the dude who's selling the army of the Unsullied.
Yes.
Oh my god. So he's talking, yammering on, and then and this is where we meet Melisandre.
Right.
No,
yes.
Missandre. How do you say it?
Oh,
Missandre.
Miss Andy?
Missandei. Sure. Yes, that's it.
Sandy. Missandei.
Right, Missandei. That's it. So, yeah, because she's the translator for this dude.
Right.
So he's talking, and we're not getting subtitles. He's talking, and she's explaining some stuff. And then all of a sudden, they start throwing in the subtitles, and you realize that she's not saying what he's saying, and he's just telling her, like, okay, just, tell them what they need to know. And then...
exactly how I said it.
And then tell the old man he smells of piss. And then she starts to tell him. And he's like, I didn't fucking mean to actually say...
Yeah, no, she asks, really? Do you really want me to say that?
Right.
No, moron.
Yeah, obviously I don't want you to say that, you dumb fuck. So...
I don't say that.
So they start to talk about they're showing, here's the army, they'll do whatever you say, they don't fear death, and then Jorah's like, well, everyone fears death, and he's like, well, they're not really dudes anymore, and then he's like, I'll give you a demonstration. And so he lifts up the guy's armor, takes out his knife, cuts off the dude's nipple. Dude doesn't even flinch.
Not
and says, I'm glad I could be of service.
You're welcome.
and gets back in line. So, so then he says, like, the last thing he pretty much says about it is, in order for to become an Unsullied, they have to steal a baby from the mother and kill it for in front of her face, and then give her a piece of silver. And Daenerys is like, they pay the mother one piece of silver for her dead baby, and he's like, well, no, we pay the person that owns that baby the silver.
Yep.
And she's just like, she's not down with the slave thing. So her and Jorah walk away, and because the guy's like, okay, you guys got to make your mind up because we got other buyers who want to buy this army, so you guys need to decide. So her and Jorah are walking along the beach, and she's like, if we use this army, like what are we? Because now we're slavers, right?
Right.
And she sees this little girl, like, on the beach, and little girl's got a ball, and she, like, waves at the little girl. You see a dude in a cloak kind of following them, and you're like, oh boy, dude in a cloak, this can't be good.
Can't be good.
Can't be good. So the girl ends up on this dock, and
she drops her ball.
She rolls the ball to Daenerys, and Daenerys is like, oh, cool. And the dude with the cloak pulls out a knife and starts running at Daenerys. And Jorah kind of stops him, which doesn't make a lot of sense, so Jorah stops him, and the ball opens up, and there's like this weird looking bug in it with like a skull on it. And,
right. Well, Daenerys picks up the ball.
Right.
And
then
the cloaked dude knocks it out of her hands.
Does he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought Jorah had stopped him before that. Maybe I'm wrong. Fuck. I just watched this yesterday.
I don't think the knife comes out until...
So anyways, the bug comes out.
Well, and Jorah grabs him after that.
Oh, okay.
I don't think the knife comes out yet.
No, the knife was out. Fucking stabs up the dude with the cloak. And so he gets up and takes his hood off, and it's Barristan Selmy. And everybody's like, woo! And he's like, she says to Jorah, she's like, do you know who this is? And Jorah's like, I do. This is the greatest fighter in the Seven Kingdoms. This is Barristan. He is the leader of the King's Guard for Robert Baratheon. And she like gives him a look like, hey, what the fuck do you think you're doing? And he's like, whoa. He's like, I'm not. He's like, I was, but I'm not anymore. And he's like, swore an oath to your family, and I didn't keep it, and I didn't honor it. So now I want to join your Queen's Guard.
Yep.
And the crowd goes wild. Yeah. And that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And a very good opening episode. I do remember being very disappointed with the fact that like the White Walker thing seemed like it was pressing.
Yeah.
And nothing happens in this episode, really. But then they leave it like that, it's still coming, and the whole thing fucking falls apart. So, only piece. Did you see any news this week or anything?
I saw a little bit about Sansa.
Right, that was the only thing I wanted to really talk about, because that's what I was going to mention. So, Sophie Turner has said that this season, Sansa's gonna kind of come into her own and stop having things done to her and start doing things herself.
Yeah, stop being a little bitch.
Whatever that means.
Read between the lines.
You could read between the lines, and that might be what she was saying. I don't know.
It could not be. Who knows?
So do we think that this is the season? Because didn't we think last season was going to be the season for Sansa? Because after the whole Baelish thing, she lies and says how her aunt dies, and then And then that's it. She goes to being, damsel in distress again.
Yeah, I think Baelish thought that the whole marrying to the Bolton would work out better for her.
Okay, so you think that Baelish had no idea that Ramsay was a fucking psychopath?
Well, not to that extent. I think he knew he was a psychopath, but to the extent to treat his wife that way.
Right. He's a
You know?
psychopath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's more of I think Baelish fucked up on that part.
Right.
And,
Because we still think that as far as Baelish with Sansa goes, Baelish is looking out for her, right? Like he has the best intentions for her in mind.
Absolutely.
Okay. Even though we don't know any of his other fucking goals.
Right.
We just know, at least as far as Sansa goes.
Yeah. Because she is Catelyn's daughter.
Right. Interesting. All right, well, I think that's all I've got for this week. You got anything to add?
No, that's it.
Cool. All right, well, remember, guys, check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/Rabble of Thrones. Check us out on Twitter, @Rabble of Thrones. Check us out, just rabblepress.com, youtube.com.
Or rabbleofthrones.com.
Or rabbleofthrones.com, even easier. youtube.com/rabblepress. Check out all our videos. Rabblepress.com/boobcount. Do yourself a favor. Check it out right now.
Do it.
See you next week.